give you rest and give you waters from the local wadis. That's the traditional Bedouins from Saudi Arabia still do that. Well, Taino Indians and other Indians, Pueblo Indians, Iroquois, Mohawk Indians, Onondagas, Blackfoot, uh, all kind of Indians would offer their pipe as a means to make covenant with you. And for example, if you enter my territory and you was a foreigner and you needed to travel through and there were other Indian populations, I would give you a peace pipe. That would be the covenant that you enter with me who lived in that region, and that was your safe passage through that region. You held that pipe to your chest, to your poncho, and you're on your horse, and if some Indians came upon you, they would not attack you. They stop, they look at the feathers, they look at everything that you had, and they will realize you had stopped somewhere along the line, and somebody offered you safe passage through that area. A lot of the No Mountain Men and early Scottish and Irish uh, uh, trappers like Lewis and Clark, they did that. They actually brought an Indian with her. I forgot what her name was. And they traveled during the Louisiana territory. Lewis and Clark had peace pipes. And if you read the journals, he often stopped and he was able to make through because he had peace pipes, and they recognized that. During time of war, if you came through, they would fight, Indians would fight, and you came through with a peace pipe lit, they would immediately stop. That's how it was. That's how sacred it was, because that was considered deity. That was considered inappropriate for behavior, just like burial ground. It could be another tribal's burial ground, but you didn't step on that burial ground. They would stop. The scouts would stop, go to another direction. It was called taboo. It's not something that you did. Makintanka, the Great Spirit, will punish you. And so tobacco was of great significance, not only to my people, Taino, in our ceremonies, it was also used in these tents where you would go in and you get cleansing from tobacco. You find that among Amazonian Indians, the different tribes. They use it for cleansing. And I believe that's one of the reasons why those that did smoke were not infected by the diseases. For example, I believe, and many Taino Indians believe, to fight off this COVID virus is to smoke cigars. Something about tobacco in your body resists it for whatever reason. Like you inhale it, keep it in your lungs a little bit, you let it permeate your body. For some reason, that virus doesn't attack anything that has substance of tobacco essence in it. And we really believe that there were times that Spanishes would come through on the island of Puerto Rico, and immediately they will burn tobacco. And the Spaniards were always wondering why they were burning tobacco in their presence. It's because the horses and whatever were wearing were carrying diseases. So what they do, if you wanted to in contact and talk to them, you would stand there and they would come, the curadores, the priests in Taino will come with smoke, light it up, and then let it smoke out, and they will go on your body, all over your body. They will put you in the streams or lake and cleanse you, and then you can enter into the encampment. And when you enter the encampment, you would actually be going to Bojito, which is a hut. And in that hut, it was full of smoke, man. You'd be smoking them. Those Indians never died. Those ancestors never died. Of course, many of the Spaniards married the women, but a lot of the ways, a lot of the characteristics we have, like for one, we're very peaceful, but if you push us, we're very warlike. That's why the Americans understood that real quick. Once they Once the U.S. territory was given from Spain to Puerto Rico, they understood that those that were Taino mixed were warriors, had warrior spirits. They survived the Spaniards, they survived the Dutch, they survived the warrior spirit. They were ready to fight. One of the first Taínos was involved in the purchase of Manhattan. He spoke the language. You know, we think of Indians as if they never traveled. They were in that location and they didn't move. Indians traveled, went on their own ships, traveled from region to region and came back and would tell stories of who they met. And trading was going on among all indigenous people. You know, and remember, a lot of the Indians were both on the West Coast and on the East Coast. And of course, when colonizers came, they spread and they migrated toward the Middle States. And the Middle States have a lot of names of the Indians, the indigenous Indians that lived there. So there were thousands and thousands of tribes of Indians. And it's interesting that all of them viewed tobacco as sacred. And we do today. And when you ask me to light up with you, you might be thinking tobacco. You might be thinking, hey man, let's just spend the time. I'm thinking, wow, you're entering into peace with me. You're entering into a covenant with me. You want to be my friend. So remember, when you smoke with certain people, they're Native American, don't play with the tobacco. It's sacred to this day. So this is Sailor the Piper Man, Piper the Sailor Man, saying so long. Until next time, I'll speak more on Indian traditions. They're very sacred to us. I was honored at the 10 Nations powwow in 2014. It went down, I think it was in Arizona, and I was honored I was there. And when I was there, the guy thought I was African American. It was very rude, like, well, what are you doing here? But there was an elder sitting in the elders, they have a tent where the elder sat. He came over and looked at me real good. He says, he's Taino. He's Arawak. He saw my features are a lot skinnier. But he looked at me and he could tell, he knew right away. He was a medicine man. He said, he's Taino. He's the first people. When he said that I was the first people, that my people the first to see, and that we're still around and we survived. Okay? We survived. However we survived, you know, we're conscious that we're Taino, but we're conscious that we're mixed. I'm conscious also that I chose to be American and co-allegiance to America, you know, against foreign oppression. See, people don't understand that the Navajos, the Apaches, fought in the American War because they understood the Nazis, they were going to eradicate everybody. They understood that a war, according to their myth, was coming, where this nation would rise up that would destroy all other nations. So that's why the Navajos fought World War II. That's why their language was so essential into us defeating the Japanese. So in that powwow, I was able to march in with other veterans, and just to hear the name of my people, the Taino people, and the respect that I got, was not only that my son You know, because you're telling your son these stories so he can learn, but he's Americanized. You know, he's growing up in America, and I'm telling him in his blood. So when he took his DNA, he saw he had Taino indigenous people. He was proud, but he was so proud to see his father among Korean, World War II veterans, Vietnam veterans, all kind of veterans, coming in with the First Nation marching in, and to see the first Taino up in the front, marching in, dancing in, marching in. I was so honored by Native Americans. You know, it was one of the highlights of my life. I just wanted to share that. Say to the Piper man, Piper the Sailor man, be proud of who you are.